From Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Ring on the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Good morning, Chef Michael. How are you?
A little better. Feeling better today.
Feeling better? You got some rest this weekend?
Oh, boy, it was a hard week. You know, a lot of people got sick, and I was one of them. I haven't been sick in years, and I guess it was a flu or cold or whatever. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, at the age of 62, I never coughed so much in my life. Even till today, my chest is killing me when I'm coughing. But I was feeling better, and it was a 2-day process, almost 3-day process. And yesterday was the first day that I got some rest and slept, because throughout the whole night, when you're sick, you're coughing constantly. And, I should have went to the doctor, but I'm not one for doctors. I got to get hit with a bus for me to go to a doctor. But I just took that NyQuil and some of the other medication off the counter, and drank honey, and I didn't know that, but honey's good for you. If you got a sore throat, folks, if you take a couple teaspoons of honey, like when you swallow, and you got a sore throat, you can't drink anything. Believe it or not, it coats your throat, and it didn't hurt. It goes away eventually, but it was. But I'm feeling better now. Thank you for asking, Sandy.
Well, that's good. Well, sometimes a cold is just a cold, and it has to wear itself out anyway, even if you go to the doctor, like you said, well, I was going to go to the doctor. But, I know that drinking a lot of fluids, taking vitamin C, and, and bundling up, and we kept checking your temperature,
right,
and putting alcohol on your feet, and, to cool down your body temperature. And so, I don't know, these are all home remedies, some of them, that people will use at home to, try to get these things to pass quickly. Because the thing of it is, you don't want anything to drag on for a long time. And I remember my acupuncturist told me one time, he said, well, sometimes you just have to go to the doctor, Sandy, and if you don't want it to stay in your system too long, because then, then you can get other complications, And remember, you were asking me if I thought it was pneumonia. I said, well, of course, I'm not a qualified person to say if it's pneumonia or not, because obviously I'm not a doctor. But it appeared to be that it was a cold, simply a cold. But, again, you have to watch the signs, keep an eye on the temperature, and if the temperature stays high, like your temperature went up to 102.
Right.
But if the temperature stays high for any length of time, then yes, definitely you need to go to the doctor.
Right. Well, on the line right now, Sandy, we got the great shiny Mohawk and Karen Rice from Uncle Ben's Rice in the box.
Hey, shiny Mohawk, how are you doing?
Good morning.
Hi, Karen.
Morning.
What's up, guys?
Good morning.
We're glad to hear that Chef Michael's feeling better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were concerned.
Remember, yeah, Shiny, you had that cold that lasted for a long time. Remember the flu?
About 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so a long time.
Yeah, so when we heard about Chef Michael, we were, really concerned, and all weekend we were worrying about him, hoping that he would be getting some rest.
So he got better.
I did get some rest. I felt.
That's good.
You do sound better already.
Thank you. And funny.
Well, actually, you know what? The Grossos had invited us to come over to watch football on Sunday, and Chef Michael just kind of telling me, he said, I've got this fever. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. And that was on Saturday when he talked to them. But it's a good thing, because he was still not quite capable of really being out there performing and talking a lot and stuff.
Yeah. When you got that condition, you need a lot of rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that that for Chef Michael to sit in his favorite chair and watch TV, and if he gets sleepy, just roll over and fall asleep, and then just get up and watch TV again and repeat if necessary.
Well, that's great.
Well, Shiny Mohawk, he used every favorite chair. He was on the couch. He was in the cushion with the chair with the ottoman. He was in the lazy boy chair. He was on the floor. He was up and down. He was trying to find every single situation where he could get comfortable. And that's the thing. When you're not feeling well, it's hard to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because I took the night before last. I went in the shower 9 times.
Wow.
9 times because we got a steam room, and I went in and I put the steam on, and I sat down. I figured that'll help me maybe breathe a little. I come out. And I go, and I fell asleep, and I'm coughing. I get up, I take a shower again, and I'm in and out of the steam room 9 times trying to break the cold. And, when you're sleeping, it takes a lot out of you when you break your sleep. Anyway, we got...
Did that help you, though, all that
Yeah,
sleep?
it did. It really did. But Sandy really helped me out because, my mother used to, when I was a kid, and my grandmother, the old Italians, you got alcohol, and what you do is you get alcohol, and you rub your feet and your legs. And what the alcohol does, it draws down the fever, and you put like a cold rag on your head, and then I went through that transition because, when you get 102 fever, I'm telling you, you just, you feel terrible. You don't feel like eating nothing. You're not not hungry. You're constantly coughing, but guess what?
Well,
I was one of the thousands of people that were sick.
You're sounding better. And,
yes, thank God, because we're shooting our television show
champ.
today. Yes, Sandy, we're doing the TV show at 11 o'clock this morning. Listen, Shiny, we love you. We thank you for calling.
Okay,
and we'll see you. What?
We just
Have a great day.
One quick thing.
Go ahead,
Do you
big
ever
guy.
see your TV shows?
What's that?
Do you ever look at your TV shows?
I tell you the God's honest truth, we look at them at the studio, when they're put together after they're edited, and tell you the God's honest truth, Shiny, me and Sandy are so busy.
Yeah.
It's hard for us to sit down, and it's on 5 times a day on Saturday and Sunday.
He watches it on YouTube all day long.
Well,
I watch you, sweetheart.
we
I don't watch
catch up on them on YouTube, but we just wanted to say that when you show Ricky Cash and Aaron Cash at the end,
right?
Aaron Phillips.
Yeah, on Ricky Cash, you can't hear him talking. You only can hear
Aaron Phillips.
Aaron.
What do you mean?
Okay, when the Vegas Unwrapped, you can hear Aaron talking, but then on Ricky Cash, his microphone is real low.
Oh, is it really? Well, I'm glad you told us that. When we go back to the studio this morning, we'll check that out.
Yeah, twice on 2 shows. You can't.
Yeah, the last 2 shows.
All right. We appreciate that. We thank you very much for that.
Okay, Chef Michael.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, buddy. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks. And we got Mark. Hi, Mark. Thanks for holding on, pal. What's up, buddy?
Good morning, Las Vegas. It's me again from up in the frozen north.
The frozen north?
Yes, I live in northern British Columbia in Canada.
That's a little cold up
Woo!
there.
It's cold up there.
And tons of snow, buddy. I even heard you guys got some.
Well, Vegas, I had a feeling it was going to. Snow's up Mount Charleston here in Las Vegas. And yesterday was a droopy day yesterday.
A droopy day?
Yeah, it was one of them days. And if I was feeling better, I definitely would have got in the van and me and Sandy would have went to Mount Charleston for hot chocolate and breakfast. But I just was too sick.
Up here we got Timmy Hortons there, and we just settled for hot coffee, I guess.
So what's up, my dear friend? How are you?
Not too bad. I was calling, like I'm a rig pig that works in the oil and gas industry up in the north here.
Right.
Yeah?
And
Would you call yourself a rig pig?
well, I'm actually a grader guy. I grade the roads for the real rig pigs that come and go from the rigs, Anyway, this thing with this Keystone XL pipeline, what gives with your president on this issue?
I got to tell you something.
We don't know.
We don't know. One thing about what we do here, I'll be very honest with you. In the political arena, I'm a firm believer. If you're not versed in what's going on, don't make an opinion.
Yeah.
And when it comes to entertainment and cooking, that's exactly what this radio show stands for. I couldn't tell you.
And staying fit and fabulous forever. Forever.
Fat bros that want to stay skinny.
I heard the latest joke about how cold it is up here.
How cold is it?
It was so cold I had to jump start the old lady this morning.
Oh my God, that's a good one.
Well, I had to do it twice. She didn't catch the first time.
That's all right. God bless you.
He's firing on all 8 there now, I can tell you that.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, thank you for calling in, Mark,
appreciate it, Mark.
and sharing. Have a great day, okay?
Okay, same to you people down there, and stay warm.
Thank you,
Okie
buddy.
dokie. Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Honey, they get this up in Canada?
I guess so. Up in Canada, wow. We are all over the
People
place.
listen to us. Oh,
I
isn't that
know,
amazing?
I know. We had people calling from, remember from, where were they? Germany? We had Germany, Anyway, so, you look a lot better today. And
Yes,
at least you've
I'm
got some
feeling-
color back in your face. So, Michael, we've got so much going on. This Saturday is our big event over at the Underground Revolution. Yes. And we are having our WEMA New Year makeover. It is a hair and face makeup. It's a hairstyle and makeup. And also we're going to have, my dad's band is going to be playing jazz quartet, Dick Kastel and his jazz quartet. And we've got people who are booking their reservations to get their hair and makeup done right now.
Good.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun. So check it out on our Facebook page, Sandy Kastel and Friends, and be sure to call the number to Underground Revolution. You got that number, Ryan?
What is that number?
And 527-7422. That's 702-527-7422. Give them a call over at Underground Revolution. Make your reservation for 3 to 6 this Saturday afternoon, because that's the WEMA New Year's Makeover. And it is our first WEMA event of the year, folks. And we're so excited because, Peter Anthony and Stephanie Wynn are sponsoring this event, and we're so excited about it. And we are going to be giving over $100,000.
$100,000.
Over $1,000.
Take it easy.
In scholarships. WEMA's giving a $500 scholarship.
Right.
And Underground Revolution is giving a $500 advanced education for cosmetologist students. Okay, so call 702-527-7422. Okay, and we will see you at the Underground Revolution this Saturday afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. Also, Michael, we've got the big event coming up over at the Smith Center.
Right. I talked to.
Don't get so excited.
I talked to Bill Tanner yesterday. Did you call Bill? What happened? He's not accepting. You got the right phone
He's
number?
playing golf, Michael. They
he's
can't
playing
accept calls when they are
Is he
playing
out of
golf.
his mind?
I know you don't know that because you carry this thing around with you all day long,
Look
and
who's
you
talking.
accept a phone call no matter where
That's
you
right.
are.
That's right.
What do you mean? I was just checking out the songs this morning, some jazz songs to sing for Jimmy Molador at the Smith Center on February. That's a Thursday night, February 26th at 7 p.m. And you can find out more about that at smithcenter.com, Smith Center for the Performing Arts. And we're going to be in the cabaret room,
Right.
Michael.
That's exciting.
With Paris Red. Paris Red. Come on, wake up.
I'm up, honey.
Paris Red. And we've got Santos Savino on drums. And, of course, the great Jimmy Molador. This is his event, basically, and he invited us to join him for it. And I'm so excited about it. And we've already got a lot of people that are booking tickets for that. So give a call right away and call the Smith Center box office and book your reservation.
That's exciting.
What's the matter with you? What, do I have to wind you up?
No, I'm
Get you
I'm
started?
feeling a little bit better.
You're getting a little bit better?
A little bit better. Still tired, still under the weather a little bit,
You know,
ladies
it's almost
and
that time of day.
gentlemen. What time of day is that?
If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And Chef Michael's going to give us a recipe after a brief pause from our sponsors. Viva Las Vegas!
Making every morning brighter. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Good morning and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show. I just heard from Tom Mazzetta.
Hey, Tommy, what's up, buddy?
Mazzetta. Hi, Tommy. How are you? He's not on the phone. He just
All right.
texted me.
The hell with it.
No, he's going to get the twins on.
Why don't Tommy get
The twins. You didn't even ask me what twins.
the burlesque twins? Who are they? Topless?
No. These are some twins that are going to come on the show. The Blue Eyed Club Records.
Not the Blue Eyed Club Records.
Yeah. Anyway.
God. Oh my God. Yeah, we know what happened yesterday.
What?
So anyway, Sandy decided she wanted to cook.
I did. I cooked because you know what? Michael wasn't in the kitchen this weekend.
And I
So
said,
guess who got in the kitchen? I did.
Sandy made a great meatloaf. It was delicious.
Chicken.
And then she made a chicken, and then she made the pork.
Country ribs.
Country ribs.
I made first of all, I made the country and ribs and chicken barbecue. That was on Saturday, and then yesterday, I guess, and then I made
That was good.
meatloaf.
And the meat, yes. And they say, don't let your meat loaf. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2015. What did you do different? Is everybody sticking to their resolutions out there?
Resolutions.
Okay,
What?
all you boozers that were drinking that says you weren't going to drink anymore, are you still bending your elbow? Did you stop? What'd you do? Tell me, all those that made a promise to the Lord that they were going to change their ways, did you change your ways, folks?
Have you?
Have you? Or are you sliding back? Because everybody, see, let me tell you something. Tragedy is like a headlock.
A headlock.
Yeah, a headlock. You get somebody in a headlock, and you squeeze their head.
You squeeze.
And then they turn around and they'll do anything you want them to do. One thing, I'm in a headlock. Once you take the headlock off, then
They
all of a
forget.
sudden they forget.
Yep.
And it happens in life. There was a movie with Burt Reynolds where he was, and Dom DeLuise. I can't remember the name of the movie. No, it was a Cannibal Run. No, it wasn't Smokey the Bandit. But he was out. He was like, he wanted to kill himself. He was in this a place where he wanted to die. And Burt Reynolds there was a suicide place, and Dom DeLuise. And anyway, they get in a boat and they go all the way out. You know what I mean? And they tip over. He swims out, and he's dying. And he says, "Oh God, if you let me live, I'll give every dime that I own to charity." And as he's swimming into shore, the closer that he swam to shore, the less that he promised the Lord. It's funny as hell. He says, and then I'll give 5, 10, 20%. And I'll give 10%. And then he goes, I'll give 5%. And then when he hits the beach, he goes, I'll definitely throw a few dollars in the box. What's that?
The End.
The End? Yeah, maybe you're right.
I saw the title of the movie on IMDb.
The End was
The
a
End.
movie?
With Burt Reynolds.
Well, Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to see that movie. And there's another movie I want everybody. In fact, Sandy, this is the movie that I wanted to get to show you, and I forgot because at Barnes and Noble, they will get you any DVD movie you want. I got The Robe. I got Reginald Owen with Scrooge. I got all my favorite Christmas movies. I got John Wayne, The Quiet Man. And there's a movie that Dom DeLuise did with the great late Anne Bancroft. It was called Fatso. Now, for every person that's Italian that's out there from back east, you got to rent this movie. It will have you on the floor. But you really got to be Italian to appreciate it because it is so funny how it's so close to my family. It's incredible how funny that movie was. And they called it Fatso because he couldn't stop eating. You know, they sent him for Chinese food, and he came back like 5 hours later, you know, and they said the only thing he had was like the bones of chickens around him. I mean, the guy just kept eating and eating and eating. It was just funny. And it never really became a big hit, but I got to tell you something. Go get the movie called Fatso.
Fatso?
Fatso, yeah, Fat's the
is
name
that?
of the movie. That's the name of the movie,
The
Fatso.
movie.
With
Okay.
Dom DeLuise and Bancroft.
Yeah.
What a great movie, because they said, you know, when you had a car, you used to call it a Scotch. He said, "Can I borrow your what do you got, a Scotch?" And then another thing, like when she bit into her kid's, the kid was eating ice cream. And so the mother grabbed the ice cream cone and she licked the ice cream cone. And Dom DeLuise says, "What's wrong with you?" She says, "That's you. What are you doing?" He said, well, she said, "I don't skeeve." Now, back east, the word skeeve, for those that don't understand, is that, you know, if you drink out of somebody's glass or somebody bites a sandwich, you say, "You want half of this?" There's a lot of people that would never, ever do that. You know, like you say, you want to, you know, if you're sitting down in the dish and you have 2 meatballs and you got 1 meatball left, I say, "Hey, Ryan, you want that last meatball? I'll take it." So I take it out of your dish. I don't skeeve you. A lot of people skeeve you. They go, "Oh, no, I would never do that. I would never drink out of somebody's glass, use somebody's fork, bite after somebody, you know, bite a sandwich and say, you want to taste this." Now you got sips and you got swigs. What's the difference between a sip and a swig, Sandy?
A sip and a swig.
Yes. Now
A sip would be a small little sip.
right.
And a swig would be glug, glug, glug,
right.
glug.
So, very good. Now Sandy's not even from Becky. So I noticed that Brian has a quart of Dr. Pepper. So I said, "Hey, Brian, can I get a sip?" I asked you for a sip, and all of a sudden you say, "Mike, you just took a swig." And half the bottle's gone. There was a lot of guys took a sip from a swig. But these are old East Coast neighborhood sayings that linger on throughout the universe like myself, and there's only a handful of people. When I go back east, and I'm going to go back, I got to go back east to see my mother. Dear God, give me the strength to get in a plane and just go. Because I come up with a million excuses, and that's a shame because you know what happens? Everybody does that. Then when somebody dies, they hop a plane. It's too late. Don't go see them when they're dead. Go see them when they're alive because then people send flowers. You notice that the Italian people, when you die, they'd send you flowers. They would send a casket spray. They'd send a bleeding heart. They'd send the gates of heaven. They would send the lyre. They would send all these different beautiful flowers. And the guy could never or the woman could never appreciate it because they're dead. So do yourself a favor, folks. Send your mother flowers now. If your mother's alive, call FTD. If your sister's still living, your brother that's still living in Oklahoma, pick up the FTD. Everybody's got a credit card. Spend $30. Send them a fruit basket and say, I just was thinking of you. Just was thinking of you. You don't have to tell them you love them, which is a nice thought. Because believe me, when they throw a 7, and that means a 7, that means you crap out.
Right.
Then it's too damn late. Do you understand? So don't do it, folks. Do it now while people are alive. Don't wait till they're dead. And on the phone, talking about the dead, I got the most nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life, Robert Ferguson.
Hi, Robert.
How are you, Sandy?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. I left you a message on your cell phone. I hope that you were able to get it okay.
Well, no, I didn't check it. What was it?
Okay, to find out what help I can do for you and Chef Michaels at the Smith Center on Saturday.
I already told you. It's not this Saturday. That's Thursday, February the 26th, Robert.
Oh, it's February. Oh, I got it mixed up. That it's
yes, you
February.
did. No. It's in February.
Okay, all right.
What we're having this weekend is the WEMA event, the WEMA New Year Makeover, Robert.
Okay.
Yeah, I got shiny mohawk. Shiny mohawk.
I forget who I am sometimes.
I'm sorry, what?
I get so busy sometimes I forget who I am sometimes.
Yeah, well, it's okay to get a little confused. So how was your weekend, Robert?
My weekend was fantastic. I worked, and I got to tell you what happened. When you and Chef Michaels left me at the DMV.
Right.
I had nothing but problems over there. And to make a long story short, after I left, there's a bus stop by Pecos and Sahara.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like anybody else would sit there minding my own business. So there's this lady who comes up with a walker. And she says, "Excuse me, sir, but I don't mean to say anything to you, but she says, you are so skinny. Don't you eat?" And I'm saying to myself, there's certain things you say to people and certain things you don't, but, that's one thing you don't say. So I figured, maybe she wasn't well. Or
was she Italian?
Like no, God forbid, no.
Or Jewish?
No, she wasn't Jewish like me. She was
or Irish?
A regular white girl.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean regular white girl?
Well, just like any other girl that was.
Yeah, but was she a grandmother? You said she was an older woman with a walker.
She.
Well, anyway, what I was thinking is maybe she, it's kind of that grandmother thing, that motherly thing, like they see somebody, and no matter what you weigh, it's like, I need to fatten you up, I need to give you, so you need, some cooking, you need some of the, like the Italians, they're always doing that, like manja, you need to be eating more.
I admit that I'm a little bit on the thin side, but, you know, it's just one of those things that in life, you never know what you're going to hear when you go anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I'm glad to know that Chef Michael is doing much better. I was also going to suggest to him, when I was sick a little bit with a cold, I used to put a little bit of brandy and tea and lemon, which is also an added kicker.
Oh, I don't give Michael brandy.
No, I'm not a boozer.
You know why? Because then he'll just fall asleep.
Yep. I'm out like
But of course, in this case, it would be good for him to just fall asleep. Yep. And he did get a lot of sleep this weekend, Robert.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I thank you, Bobby.
Good people, you don't want good people. I have an old saying in life, Sandy. This is what I say. You can't keep a good man down for too long, and he's a good man.
That's right.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Robert. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bobby runs the bus all the time, and I had a very bad experience on the bus. Rides the bus.
He doesn't run.
And I had a very bad experience on the bus.
You did? What happened?
I was on a bus once, and there was this woman. She has a bag of oranges, and she gets on the bus. There's no place to sit, and there's a bum that's sitting down looking at her, and I'm standing up, and I was going. I didn't have. If I would have sat down, I would have made her sit down. And every time the bus driver right, hit the brakes. All of a sudden, the bag of oranges, she drops the bag, and the oranges are all over the bus. And every time the poor woman bended over to pick up an orange, I guess she had gas, and you heard, I'm serious, you heard, burr, 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 burr. Every time she bent, and the bum said, "That's right, lady, if you can't catch him, shoot him." And it was a very bad experience for me, and I never got on the...
get it. Right over my head. It must be too early. If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael, and you never know what to expect here on Sandy Kastel and Friends. But anyway, we'll be right back after a quick message from our sponsors with a recipe
from Sandra Kastel.
Okay.
And Friends.
Thank you.
Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you?
There's no other radio show like it. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. The phone lines are open at 702-731-1230. Now, here again, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Chef Michael, what recipe are you going to give us today?
Today is a recipe for chicken soup.
Chicken soup?
Very simple. I said this before. It's my cousin. This is a recipe for chicken soup. Very simple, ladies and gentlemen. You go to Smith's and you get yourself a whole chicken. All right. Now, when you take it home, take it out of the bag. Make sure you wash it. Take the inside, because usually inside the bag, in the cavity of the bag, they usually have the heart and the liver. You take that out. You can use it or throw it away.
Okay.
Put the chicken inside a pot. Put the chicken inside the pot. Okay, and I would use, let's say, a 5-quart pot, and then add water to it. All right. Then you add 2 onions and let it boil. Then add your salt and your pepper and your parsley. Now, believe it or not, I put some fresh garlic in it, and it melts. It comes out very, very good. And then I usually add a can of stewed tomatoes. The reason being for that, it gives it a nice color. It gives it like a very beautiful color to it. And then the last hour before the chicken's done, you take the chicken out naturally. You let it cool off and you shred the chicken, which it'll actually disintegrate off the bone. Put the chicken back in the soup. Then add your celery and your carrots. Let them cook for about an hour and 20 minutes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you got the greatest chicken soup you ever tasted in your life. That's as simple as you possibly can. Now, when I had the restaurant, I used to use 20-pound turkeys to make my soup. Turkey soup, which come out great, fantastic. Now, because today they have all these different kinds of additives. They have the powder, they have the beef additive, they have the chicken additive, and many restaurants, that's what they do. You know what I mean? Now, that's one recipe. Here's another recipe, so I can squeeze one in. French onion soup. Simplest thing in the world to make, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself 2 sticks of butter. All right? You got a pound of butter, get a half a pound of butter. Melt it down. Get yourself 10 onions. Cut your onions up once the butter melts and put the onions inside the butter with a lid. As soon as it caramelizes, add yourself beef stock. You can use Swanson's beef. They got the whole quart of beef soup. Add that to that. Add your salt, your pepper, your parsley. You also add a little bit of granulated garlic. Now remember, folks, to tighten up the soup, you don't use a flour because you'll change the color. You use cornstarch. So you get 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. You put it in a bowl with a cup of water, and you mix it with your hands to make sure it's liquefied. Add that to your soup, and it makes the French onion a little heavy. The water base is a little bit more tight, and it comes out absolutely great. And then what you do is you buy croutons. They have them in the store, or you can make your French toast. You get your eggs, and you get your garlic powder and your milk, and you beat it up, and you cut your bread in chunks, and you fry it. And you can put the bread, the fried bread to the side, and add that to your soup, which is great. You can also put some mozzarella. Now, if you have the French bowls, you can put the piece of provolone cheese, which is on the top, and bake it in the oven, and that'll melt right over the bowl. And that comes out absolutely exquisite also as well. So what I squeezed in was a couple recipes for you, ladies and gentlemen. These are very simple things that everybody can make. You know, you think you can't, but you can. That's why that our TV show's very, very astute, and people enjoy it because they watch it, because they can cook from it. You know, I've been a chef for many, many years, and I see stuff on television that I can't do. And I say to myself, it's too damn intense. Nobody cooks like that. It's fun. You know what I'm trying to say to you? It's fun. But today, people are looking for that down-home, delicious, good home cooking. You're not going to beat that. You can go to some great restaurants and pick up $1,000 bills, tabs. But folks, listen to me. Nothing like sitting at a table in somebody's house and having somebody make homemade chili, homemade soup, a good pot roast. Okay, simple stuff that we all were raised on. Get back to the basics, okay? Back to the basics so you can sit down and have a hearty meal with a beautiful loaf of nice French bread with some nice delicious butter, and you dip that butter on the bread and you dip it into soup. My father-in-law came over last night, Sandy's dad. I said, Dad, what do you want to eat? He said, Mike, I want the beef soup. And I watched the old man sit down, and he had a big bowl. And that roast and the beef, I had a beef shank. And guess what, folks? It just melted off the bone. That beef melted in your mouth. And I had little pastas inside, the little wagon wheel pasta. Oh, my God, was it good. I didn't eat it because I didn't feel good. But it sure sounds good today. So we're back with Sandy, Kastel, and friends.
We were never gone. Anyway, well, that's great. That sounds good. So now, Michael, what are your plans now? I know that we're doing the TV show. We're shooting for the TV show today over with Peter Bavone. So he's going to be on this weekend on our TV show at King TV and all the other stations that it's listed on. You know, and over the weekend we did watch it. I know you said, well, we never watch it, but we do really. We check it out not only on the TV stations, but we do check it out on YouTube also and make sure that it's posted so that everybody can see it, you know, just in case they don't have antennas, you know, but it's very interesting. I've been finding out so much more about the use of antennas now and how much clearer the picture is if you have an antenna and you're not going through cable or coax or, you know, or satellite. I should say cable or satellite, because when you have cable or satellite, they actually compress the picture, and that's why you'll see it and it doesn't look as good, you know. But when you get it directly, the direct feed from an antenna, folks, I got to tell you, the picture's a lot clearer.
You know, Sandy, I got to tell you that,
and you can find out more about that from Mr. Antenna. You know, we have a commercial on there about him.
Right, I got to tell you that I got a call from Ken Malone yesterday. He was a chaplain, and I go back with him a lot of years. This guy, and he's a minister. And he said, I watch Dale Davidson all the time. Right. You know, on the Christian channel. And I got to tell you something. I was amazed of how many people watch the Christian channel programs.
Over and you know, Dale is on the national channel. And we're talking. We're probably going to be doing that too. You know, sometime soon.
Well,
but we'll let everybody know. But what I wanted to let everybody know also, Michael, is the difference when you're on antenna. You just pay a one-time fee to get the antenna hooked up, and that's it. You're done. There are no monthly fees. You know how much we pay
$300 a month
to be on Cox?
$300 a month.
And I don't know where. Well, we do have a bundle, but holy cannoli.
But we don't watch all of things. I mean, I like sci-fi. I mean, me and Sandy watch sci-fi. I love the Weather Channel.
I don't know why it's so expensive, but I think it's just it's because we got so many TVs in the house, and not of our doing, but you know, those TVs are still there, you know, hooked up, and so
you know who the remote was when I was a kid? Me.
Remote.
Yeah.
The remote. You get up and you turn.
Yeah, my father would say, "Mike, change the channel." My father, when my father spoke, E.F. Hutton listened.
And you know, Cox. I mean, all the cable and satellite stations. You know, they do have a lot of shows on there too.
Sure, they do.
But it's amazing how many shows are just that you can get that are free. Over the air, and that's the way TV was always supposed to be, free to everybody. You know,
I used to watch John Facenda. He was the
Facenda.
news guy. He was like
John Facenda.
John Facenda was like the news. Like when I was
Was
a
that
kid.
like Joe Delaney?
No. It
Oh.
was like John Facenda. He was the news guy. He was on Channel 3 in
Oh,
Philadelphia. I was
okay,
like
yeah.
8 years. And he would say, tomorrow's snow. And I would go, oh, yes, I don't have to go to school. Thank God.
Was
in
there
heaven.
any snow?
No, but if John Facenda said it was snow.
You knew there was supposed to be
It
snow.
didn't. People believe John Facenda. If he
Right.
said, this is going to be snow. And ladies and gentlemen, the parochial schools are now closed.
We need some music, Michael.
Yes, we do.
What kind of music do we have there? What kind of songs do we have there, Ryan, that we can play?
Jimmy Roselli.
Some of your CDs?
Yeah, sure.
Which one would you like? Like the jazz or the
I don't know. You got to surprise me. Come on.
Yeah,
Pick one.
kid, come on,
Yeah,
come
we're
on.
gonna- yeah, because we've got, it's funny. I was talking to Tom Mazzetta the other day,
How's he doing?
and we're going to release Crazy Girls.
Uh-oh.
Crazy Girls,
Crazy girls. You're nothing but crazy girls.
And then it's interesting because I've also got a couple of jazz tunes that I've written and called Promises. Yeah, you've heard them, haven't you?
Oh, I
Mike?
love them. I listen to them all the time.
yeah. Anyway, what are we listening to, Ryan?
I got the first track on a country CD.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here it goes. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce
Gotta love a man
Star
like
Streamed
that.
and Postcards, entertaining people for years.
Yes.
It's Sandy Kastel.
And gotta love a man like that.
Got a man with a heart of gold. No better love, and don't I know it? Stole my heart in one kiss flat. Gotta love a man like that. I've got a man with big blue eyes, 6'2", hunk of paradise. Paints my toes and he rubs my back. Gotta love a man like that. Saturday shirts and skins and football in the park. Passing and flashing that I love you tattoo on his heart. I've got a man who walks the line. I'm all his and he's all mine. Straight as the truth and that's a fact. Gotta love a man like that. Saturday shirts and skins and football in the park. Passing and flashing that I love you tattoo on his heart. I got a man who writes poetry, plays out of tune and sings off key. He's so crazy that he makes me laugh. Gotta love a man like that. Yeah, I've got a man with a heart of gold. No better love, and don't I know it? I ain't no Rachel Ray, but he keeps coming back. Gotta love a man like that. Saturday shirts and skins and football in the park. Passing and flashing that I love you tattoo on his heart. I've got a man who walks the line. I'm all his and he's all mine. Straight as the truth and that's a fact. Gotta love a man like that. Yeah, he's what you call an aphrodisiac. Gotta love a man like
Stan, I got to tell you, every time
A wonderful way to start your day. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Who do we have on the phone? Oh, I thought we had somebody on the line.
Yeah, Charlie Babatz.
Charlie Babatz.
You know,
Anyway, what?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Anyway.
You go ahead.
Your mother. So anyway, it's funny. Success, ladies and gentlemen, it's got its ups and it's got its downs.
Scott.
Yeah, it does.
Scott's?
And I can tell you something. When you choose to do a radio show, you choose to do a television show. All right, you are subject to criticism from people. You're subject.
No.
Your life is an open
I
book.
want to be criticized.
Well, they do. You know what I mean?
They do.
And I'm going to tell you something.
I don't want to hear it.
Your fans feel as though, and I'm being honest with you,
What? what?
That you have, that they're beck and call. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went to, as sick as I was, I went to Smith's. I had to get something.
See, you're coughing because
right.
of it.
And the lady says, "Hi, Chef Mike." I says, "How are you?" I says, "How are you?" She's good. "How are you?" I said, "No, I'm not too feeling good. I need to get some NyQuil." She can see I was sick. And she turned around. She says, "I want to ask you a question. When I make my roast," now, I was ready to say to her, "Madam, I don't feel good." But I didn't.
That's right.
Because remember one thing. For those people that are fortunate, like Sandy and I, to have a successful radio show and a television show, all right, and the people that like you, like Shiny Mohawk, Jason and his wife, and a lot of great fans that just took a tremendous liking to us personally, you have an obligation to your fans, folks, to sign an autograph, to ask a question, take your undivided attention out for them. So for those people that are out there that really think that they're don't you know what, then you better do yourself a favor. Go find yourself a job or come and see me. I'll give you a job driving one of my trucks, all right? Because it's a blessing and an honor and a privilege when people come up to you.
That's right.
And acknowledge you, and they say the things you say. They say to you. And sometimes we may not feel good. We're tired. We got problems, just like everybody else, from a million different things. So do yourself a favor, folks. Be nice. Be respectful. Okay? And be blessed that people thank you. I mean, really and truthfully, because that's a wonderful, wonderful thing to feel that way. And I'm very honored, so no matter how sick I may feel, excuse me, I'm sorry, or under the weather, I will always have time to answer a question, give a recipe to somebody.
As long as you're able.
As long as I'm able to do that. And I really mean that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it is important. Yeah. So that people, because, you hear a lot of stories, about actors and actresses, and sometimes, I took my kid and I was there and we saw them and I said, "Can you give me, give my kid an autograph, do an autograph for my kid?" And they're like, "I don't have time." And you're like, "What?" This is a parent bringing their kid to you to ask, and it's very impressed. They're very impressed at that at any age. But that's very.
Isn't it right, Sam? What do you think about that? And we don't look, because it's funny, because Sandy and I, it's amazing. I'm 62 years old.
You are.
Yep, and I'll be 63, and I'm proud of it.
You're so much before my time.
That's right, and I'm proud of it. 30 years ago would have been different. There's some people that are in this town that are performing in this town, and there's a couple soup cans that are here. That's just, what I mean. These people actually think that they're good, and they're not. You know what I mean? They get a lucky break. They're on TV. They're doing a record here and there. And they just don't have what it takes. And it's sad because in the end, you know what I'm trying to say to you? It's your fans. It's the people that really like you that make the difference. Like Shiny Mohawk.
Well, as long as the fans are coming out,
right.
Michael, I guess, then
it's like Shiny Mohawk to say, "Mike, I care about Chef Mike." I became Chef Mike. You know what I mean? How the hell did I become Chef Mike after all these years? It's like talking to Sinatra.
Don't we have something, Chef Michael doing something over at the Ron DeCar's event center that one night? That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that was the comedy. That was the comedy night.
And all of a sudden, they've got you up there doing you're doing your shtick.
Do the thing with the guy from heaven.
"I'm not a comedian." And I said, "Well, Michael, you're always telling jokes."
The guy from heaven.
I guess you must be. And you said you got that from your mom.
My mother. My mother was
your mother.
My mother was the best. My mother did me all the jokes. She was great. Here's a little story about Angelo Bombolini.
Okay, good.
I always like to tell a joke. I don't know why I do this. Guy dies and goes to heaven. His name was Angelo Bombolini. Hey, lady, don't get ahead of me. St. Peter's at the Golden Gates, and St. Peter says, "Can I help you?" He says, "Yeah, I'm here to get the gates of heaven." He said, "What's your name?" He said, "My name is Angelo Bombolini." He said, "Mr. Bombolini, wait a minute. Let me check my roster sheet." And he looks down, shakes his head. He said, "Listen, I don't know how to tell you this, but I can't let you in." He says, "Why not?" He says, "You didn't do anything good on earth." He says, "St. Peter, I did a lot of nice things." He said, "Well, name me two things. You did what you were on earth." He said, "I was once at the Golden Nugget downtown in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I seen a woman, she was crying. I walk up to her, I said, 'Oh, why you cry?' She says, 'I lost all my money.' He said, 'I stuck my hand in my pocket, I gave her $2. He said, "Name me something else." He said, "The next day I'm at Caesar's Palace. I seen that same woman. I said, 'How you doing?' She says, 'Not so good. I lost the $2 you gave me.' He says, 'Don't worry. I put my hand in my pocket. I give her another $2. Now, isn't that good enough to get me?" Angelo Bombolini in the gates of heaven. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true story. I was there, trust me. 6 feet away, there was Jesus Christ standing there. 6'2", black hair, blue eyes. He was Napolitan. Don't tell me different, because he was Italian. He looked over, and St. Peter said, what should we do with Mr. Bombolini? And what do you think Jesus Christ said? Give him his $4 back and tell him to go to hell.
There you go. That's Michael.
Yeah.
Chef Michael Leonetti.
That was my mother.
I can't
Mom,
hear us.
I love, yes. That was my mother, Sandy. My mother, that was all my
was
mother's
your mother?
jokes.
It sounded like you to me.
It was all my mother's jokes as a
I have
kid.
to put it down here in my ears.
My mother was the greatest entertainer, performer. She was
Well, that's just a
wonderful.
sample. That's just a sample
Yep,
of
she
what
was
you can
great.
hear Michael Leonetti do sometimes whenever he's performing. I don't think you're going to do that at Smith Center, though.
No. Remember the Blue
No.
Records?
I
Remember
don't
the
think.
Blue
I don't think
Records?
Jimmy Mulliner is going to let
No.
you do that.
Remember the
It's a
Blue
little different
Records?
venues. What Blue Records? That's right. All
Blue
the
Records,
yeah.
when I was a kid.
Blue
No.
Records.
My mother, she used to make me listen to Bella
Telling all
Barth.
your jokes.
Sophie
Anyway, how
Tucker.
we doing, Ryan? We about ready to close out this show. Oh my gosh! If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show. We've got a thing here. But anyway, that was Chef Michael
Bella
Leonetti,
Barth.
and he was
Sophie
sharing some
Tucker.
of his jokes at the Ron DeCar's event center.
How's he doing, that
yes,
kid? Is he still around?
I guess he's doing great.
God bless him.
Anyway, we love you guys. Have a great day, and we will see you later. We'll see you tomorrow here on KLAV Lotus Broadcasting. Bye, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, Sisters Kazoo.
Neon